Hi guys,
Holy
we're back,
text,
and we've
Batman.
got yeah, we're very blue. We're very blue now. So we'll just go straight into it. First card, Italia. It's 3295. When it's placed from hand to stage or via the effect of Littorio. I need to refresh myself on what Littorio does. Uh, Look, we'll get to it when we come to it, I guess. All right. So what it's got is
It heals.
it okay. So Littorio is another copy of Italia if you're level 3. So it's a 2/1 level X that also has the ability to sack itself, pay 1, and put Italia onto the field from the waiting room.
That's actually really reasonable.
Yeah, it seems fine.
Anyways,
So it's a heal. It gets 1k when another character attacks, and up to once per turn, you may, once you reverse your battle opponent, and you have the, it's pants, I'm pretty sure. If
sure.
you have pants in the climax zone, you get to pay the cost. The cost is 2 and discard a Littorio, a Moment in Midsummer. We'll get to that, but a very it's an all right level 0, I guess. Yep.
And then you
So
reset.
and then you get to restand, yes. So this card is a serviceable finisher. I don't think it's particularly good, but it's serviceable.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I mean, it's a healing restander, which is fine, but I mean, restanders have been problematic as of late,
On reverse freestanders, you mean?
especially the ones that don't like do the swappy shenanigans.
On reverse freestanders have been a bit iffy as of late, but then they printed they printed the power smile rin, so
Yeah, but yeah,
freestanders are a thing.
I mean,
Just
this has the problems with like a lot of the finishers these days. Like if it has to reverse and it doesn't do things on attack, it's rough. It's really rough.
but there's also the caveat of most of the good decks, or rather the perceived good decks by Japan, don't have on reverse finishers as their main thing. So people are drifting away from playing more than one stack counter, and they're drifting away from sets like Index that just main stack counters. And that's nothing but good for on reverse finishers because sometimes they'll just get their chops in regardless.
Yeah,
And I think that's very important to recognize.
I mean, if the meta shifts, like this card is perfectly fine. It's not like outstanding, but
I think that Kashima is still better
I actually do like
overall.
the interaction with the 2/1 level assist. It's a level assist when you need it, and then you can cash it in for another heal. That's like pretty good.
Yeah, it's neat. It's an option card,
Yeah.
which is good.
Card gets playable plus for me.
Yeah.
hmm I think it's a playable card. I'm
Okay.
not going to give this high rating as Kashima. That's all.
I'm gonna go with the playable plus still. I just like it a little bit better than Kashima, I think. Even if it costs
Yeah.
things, but it's mostly because of the interaction it has with the Littorio. If it didn't have that interaction, I'd probably be leaving it playable.
Fair enough. All right, next card. Kawakaze. She's a 002K. Uh, she's got a when it's reversed in battle, you may put this into your clock. If it is revealed atop card of your deck, if it's a destroy character, add it to hand. Hmm. S-
So you have to play destroyers, and you can whiff.
So basically, it is a way to turn your Kawakaze into another card by taking an extra damage.
Except you can whiff, and you take damage before revealing, so
Correct.
you can potentially ping yourself for
So
no reason.
yeah,
Seems bad, even in destroyers.
I think that they did that so you can use it to not be trapped at level 05.
That still seems bad.
Because I do agree. I agree with you. But yeah, this is not one of the payoffs for playing the Destroyer deck. I'll say that much. I don't think this is a very good card.
I mean, if it was
I
if you got to
understand.
reveal then pay cost, then maybe.
Look, I understand the power of costless pluses, but something like this is just really bad in the late game. And when you can't control what you get, it's a lot worse than a selective plus, regardless of the cost.
When you can't control what you might get, and you can pay cost and not get anything. Oh dear.
You can get
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, so it's
you might as well use Inazuma.
Yeah,
She's a
agreed.
she searches.
Inazuma's a destroyer anyway.
So yeah, this card seems bad. I'm actually gonna go full ban on this
It's
one.
niche. Like it's I think it's niche minus. I don't think it's a terrible card, and that sometimes it's just very good at level zero because it is just a costless plus. With obviously you take damage, but at that point it's not that big a deal.
I think
But
I think the fact that like you can cost yourself resources. I mean, Clunk is the most flexible resource you really have, but the fact that you can cost yourself resources and still get nothing for it, just I don't want to gamble on that. Like I'm not.
yeah,
It's not
that's
worth the
fair enough.
gamble.
My other issue is that the destroy deck is not blue, so this card's color doesn't do anything in my opinion.
I don't think the color matters on level zeros. Here,
Well, I think it is relevant when the deck is stretching to three colors, like the destroy deck probably will.
I'm still gonna be giving it a bad.
I've just got a niche minus. I don't think it's inherently a bad card. It's just not really got a place.
All right, moving onward.
Victorio, A Moment in Midsummer. So this is a 004K. When you level up, put this in the waiting room, and when this is reversed in battle, your opponent may choose a character in your waiting room and put it on top of the deck.
I mean, this is niche. You're basically only running this because you're running level 3.
Yep. It's fine. It's a 4K. It's got negligible downsides.
Actually, the level
Level
up put this in waiting room is pretty sweet. Sometimes,
I
sometimes.
don't think it's as sweet as you think it is.
If your opponent hits level 1 first, it can be sweet.
Sure. I suppose, but that's very circumstantial. Like they need to hit you with their climax combo card, and it needs to not cancel, which is no. Actually, now I think about it, that is fine. That's fine. It's not even a big downside. It's just a fine card.
Yeah, it's still just niche. I don't think you're playing this unless you're playing Italia.
Yeah. So if you couldn't follow my very fragmented thought process, I was thinking if your opponent levels up and they play their level one counter with on level one combo with on reverse effects, and they try to hit you because damage comes before
Reversing.
battling.
Yep.
Yeah, so if they hit you to level one, this goes to waiting room immediately, and no battle happens. So your
Yep.
opponent doesn't get to reverse, they don't get to plus, and you still got to sponge that one damage that you wouldn't have if this was an empty slot. So yeah, this card has a neat little additional effect against
On reverse effects.
well, yeah, in that scenario.
And then in that
It's fine.
scenario as well, your opponent doesn't even get to choose a character to put as damage.
You're not you're not going to go out of your way to play this if you're not playing the level three Italia though.
Yeah, I do agree.
Still with us, Brinley?
Yeah.
I mean,
Next,
there's not much to say about this card, so I don't
Yeah.
blame you.
next up.
Yep, next card, Libeccio. It's a 1065. So it's another one of those fabulously overspec pseudo vanillas. Well, what's that?
I mean, it's a
Uh,
0/0
uh,
that also gives your opponent hand encore.
Heard that.
yeah, so it's a 0065 that gives the character up to this hand encore. So in effect, it has no drawback aside from being able to be side attacked without penalty and being able to be bombed by your opponent's level zero bombs.
That seems pretty bad.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's fine as an oversize. Like
No, sure.
those, like if your opponent's side attacking you, you're plussing, or effectively plussing, depending on what your baseline is. And if your opponent's bombing you, then you get another open slot to swing into, which I think is perfectly fine right now if you're subscribing to the whole damage race level one that most people do.
Sure.
Like this card is just a bunch of it's an oversized without real drawbacks. Like the fact your opponent gets hand encore is
It's not a
not a
drawback.
really not it's not a drawback. Like that's really not a big deal. If you're beating your opponent to the point where they need to use encore, then then they're still negging. What are they going to do after they encore you? After they encore, I don't really understand that.
Yeah.
The most annoying thing they could do is play level zero bomb or level one bomb rather, attack you, and then encore that. So you'd have to
Nick.
They have a sponge and then you won't have a sponge. That's the annoying thing that could happen, I guess.
Hmm. I'm I'm still well. It's playable. It's filler.
I think this card is playable. Given that what's her name again? Taige. Given that Taige exists, this is probably less good than it would be because Taige, she's the Ellie clone. She's 6'5" without these pseudo
Downsides.
drawbacks. But like redundancy is fine because before in that deck you're running like field counters and garbage like that. Yeah.
Yeah, playable is
This
fine.
is also a destroyer if you want to use this as your level one in the destroyers deck. Anyway, I think this card is just playable because it's an oversized without real drawback.
Yeah, that's fine. Next up,
What do we have
it's
next?
a counter.
Murasame Kai.
It's the destroyer
It's a 1-1.
counter.
This is not a good counter. It's a 1-1 counter. When you use the backup of this, give a character in battle X power, where X is 500 times the number of destroyer characters you have. Full field destroyers means this is a 1-1 3K counter.
Yeah, that's
Niche.
fine. But like, I don't really care. Niche.
Minus. No.
Yeah, it's boring. I'm just gonna move on.
Yep.
Oops.
Yamaguma. 1 cost. Discard a destroyer from hand to waiting room. Put this in clock. When this is reversed in battle, you may pay cost. If so, search your deck for up to 2 total cards named Asagumo Kai or Yamagumo Kai. I think those are both from. They're from set 2? No, they're both here. They're both here.
We'll get to them.
Oh, they're very similar to the ghosts from Puyo Puyo.
Oh, okay.
So they're 1045s that give the other one 1K and 1 soul.
Sure.
Yep. Anyway, so that's what you can do. You can pay 1, clock 1, and discard a card. 2 plus. So you go. It's like a Ricky effect for 2 specific characters. And if you have any pieces in your hand, you can get the other pieces.
Yeah.
I don't think this is a very good level 1 to be setting up for. I'd much rather be playing Teruzuki
Yeah.
or even Shimakaze, honestly speaking, in the
Yep.
Destroyers deck, which is the only place that you're going to be playing this.
Yeah, I'm definitely in that boat.
This is niche at best.
Yeah. It's even like niche by niche standards. Like
Yeah.
you're playing like a sub niche themed deck to play this.
hmm
That's funny.
Yep.
Zara
All right,
something.
next. Zara gives 500 to the middle front row slot and 1 cost tap. Reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a boat girl, add it to your hand. Otherwise, put it back.
Yeah, I think I'd rather be paying like the pay 2 rest and never miss.
This one's really, it's good. Like it's raw advantage. You can never count that out. It's 1 cost to plus.
It's also
It's
one
still a
cost
lot
to do
worse than-
nothing.
Yeah, sometimes it's 1 cost to do nothing, but most of the time it'll be 1 cost plus. But it's not really a card you want to have on the field. Like I think this is markedly inferior to Taketsubo or that Saber,
Yeah.
simply because being able to select what you get is very important when it comes to little cards like this.
I think the lack of card selection and the variance you're adding to your deck is just makes this questionable. I'm gonna give it a playable minus personally.
hmm
I
I
don't know.
mean, you can use it in a heavy cruiser deck.
Oh my god. I don't know. Playable minus, or are you guys on playable?
Yeah, I think this is a playable minus card. It's a perfectly strong effect in a vacuum. I just don't think it's as good as anything else Kantai is doing right now.
Yeah, player.
Alright, next up. What is this pose? What even?
So this is Ashigara Kaine. Oh, that's interesting. When this goes from stage to waiting room, pay 3, discard 2. If so, search your deck for 3 cards and reveal them. And if they're all characters with the same name, put them in your... Oh, that is... That is really dumb. So pay three, discard two.
That's
When this
actually
dies,
that's hilarious.
search for three of the same character and add them to your hand.
Okay, so the dream is going 3 zeros swing, and then you search three of your level 1 card. The sadness is when you have two of them in your hand already.
This is what can I say? This is a weird card. It's a level zero that you want to be playing later on, if anything,
Yep.
in order to mass filter from your deck. Uh, it forces you to play four ofs, but
This is like the
I
opposite
guess
of Gifts Ungiven.
this is good. This effect is inherently strong because you're taking cards from your deck, three of them, and those are cards you can't take as damage, assuming you just ran in. So it adds to compression, which is a nice bonus, I guess,
And
because
ideally, you're getting three cards that you actually want.
look, if you're playing this deck, then you're when I say this deck, I mean the heavy cruisers deck. I'm pretty sure that deck exists. It's based around what's her name? The 2/2 with the Pun Pucker Pun Climax combo.
It's a 0/0. You could like play this if you wanted to in any deck.
Yeah. Um, yeah. Oh, it's Atago. That's her name. Yeah.
This
So
is
if you're playing the Atago meme deck, I think this is actually an inclusion. But if you're not, then I don't think this makes it.
I think the card effect is really interesting. But if Kantai would, like Kantai has great ways of filtering as it is, so I think the odds of you still having three copies of a card you want in your deck seem low pretty often, especially when it's just like a Kaazi chain.
Hmm.
I'm just laughing. Like if you play against this card, like is your opponent like
Pays costs and
they
whiffs.
don't? Yeah, or they're just, oh wait, just give me a moment. Let me search through my deck, see if I can find targets for this
Oh,
effect.
I mean, you have to pay cost, and then you hope you hit. It's not even like Gifts Ungiven where you can at least use it like a double entomb.
Yeah. No, this card is it's very interesting, but I don't think it's good.
I'm gonna
In
go
fact,
ahead.
I think it's. I'm gonna be nice and give it a niche rating because
I'm,
it
I'm,
does probably go into that silly Otago deck.
I was also gonna give it a niche rating. It seems amusing.
Yep.
It's possible that you can make something work from this, but it seems questionable.
Mm-hmm.
Next up,
Kasumi Kaine, so 104K. All your other Kasumi Kaine gain 1/5, and they can't be reversed. So if you have two of them, you have 5/5 vanillas that can't be reversed. And tap two of your characters. Sack this. If you do, choose a Kasumi Kaine B in your waiting room and put this in the slot it was in. So Kasumi Kaine B is a climax combo. We'll come to that soon. But just a 5/5 unreversible if you have two of them on the field. What do you think about that?
bad.
If it's the auto effect.
Yeah. I don't think that's a playable card. I don't think it does anything in the current metagame. You
Oh.
wall literally LB and Puyo. That is literally all you wall.
Yeah, objectively speaking, bad. That
Yeah.
said,
Yep.
we can. Well, this card is bad on its own. 100% bad.
Yep. So now we can talk about Kasumi Kaine B, which is the card this can option select into. That is a climax
It's
combo
the same
with a
art,
stock
by the
soul.
way.
So the
Oh no,
stock
it's
soul
color shifted.
is
This one has a red backpack.
it's color shifted. It's like the shining Kirikas. So when your other Kasumi Kaine attacks, oh, this is so confusing. And this is in the front row. Put the top card of your deck in the waiting room. If it's level 1 or higher, you may draw a card.
That's also bad.
So confusing. So it only activates when another Kasumi Kaine B attacks.
Well, I mean, okay,
or
so
another.
if you have three in your front row, you could potentially +6.
Yes. Sure.
So the ceiling is outrageous.
Outrageous, he says.
You also mill 12 cards. This is the ceiling. This is the ceiling. You take 12 cards out of your deck. This is the ceiling. With
Mm.
floors, you take 6 cards out of your deck and drew 0, and then your board is dead. Your board is dead either way, actually.
Hmm.
So you better be plussing 6. Seems bad. This effect is
Look, I don't have anything else to say about this card.
it's a
There's so many downfalls. First,
it's a pure
the fact they
50-50
can
by the way
option
on the hit.
select.
It's a pure
Yeah, the
50-50
fact they
by the
can
way.
option select between each other is
Irrelevant.
irrelevant because they're both really bad. Kasumi Kaini B needs multiple Kasumi Kaini Bs to be on stage, so Kasumi Kaini doesn't even do anything because you can only get one. You can only turn one of them into
You can turn
Kasumi
2.
Kaini
You can tap
B.
itself and a back row.
Oh, good point. Yeah, okay, sure, you can do that. So it's still not good because what's your doesn't
I'm not saying it's good. It's just you can.
look, okay, sure. If you've got the ceiling, if you thread the needle, yeah, you're plus like 9 billion. And then all those 9 billion are just more copies of Kasumi Kaini B, which is just not a good card.
What? How can you get more
I'm
copies of Kaini B? They're already in. They're already in your waiting room. They all
Kasumi
died.
Kaini. Kasumi Kaini.
God. Uh, no. This is not
Yeah.
good.
I think if you play this, you're doing something wrong. I'm again going to be charitable and give it a niche because it does have that silly ceiling and it does probably mill you quite quickly.
I'm gonna be less charitable and say this is straight up bad.
You reckon? I don't know. I wouldn't feel terrible using this combo. I just don't think it's.
I
I just don't think it fits into any deck
Alright,
ever.
so in the optimal scenario, you have 3 of these in play. You draw 3 cards because you, on average, have 24 level 0s and climaxes.
Hmm.
So this is a pure 50-50. Do you like flipping coins? I sure as hell don't.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, I'd be in it just for the milling. I don't think the plussing is
Do you
really
need the
very
milling?
real.
You have a Kantai.
Gotta mill more, man. Gotta mill more.
What deck do I... We just gotta go back to the old build of animals.
Yeah. Nachi. So next card, Nachi Kaini. It's a 1175. If the level of the character opposite this is higher than this card's level, it can't front, and it's got Encore.
Seems bad.
Shrug.
I'd rather not. Super dead draw late game. And you're definitely not going to hand encore this. I'm just going to go ahead and give this a straight bad.
I don't know if it's really bad, but it's definitely not something I'd play.
I mean,
And I don't think bad plus is something I can give. I'll give this a playable minus. I think this is fine. It's a 1175 Encore. There was a time when this was really good, but that was a long time ago.
yeah, that was before early plays were everywhere, and you had to change, which had a real cost. All right, next.
Any opinions, mainly?
Oh,
I just wish this, like, I'd rather have this type of effect on a 1-0 rather than a 1-1 personally. But,
Yeah, I definitely would like a 1075.
that would be
well, like
beautiful.
the 60.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Yeah, 106k or 65 or whatever would be better. Anyway,
Where's
Victorio,
Victorio?
this is the level X we alluded to. So it's got
It's
it's got 2 effects actually. It's got level X. It's got the whole thing where you get to sack this, pay 1 to get another Italia at level 3, and you've also got the ability with the Italia
This is-
climax, which is the pants.
This is a lot
You
better
can reveal
than
the
it was.
card of your deck. If that card is a boat girl, you can add it to your hand.
This is actually a lot better than I thought it was.
A little bit of synergy there. It's a nice little package.
I mean, it's a way to keep your hand fueled so that you can try to get multiple restands, and then you also get to like sack this and get it back afterwards. So I really like this package actually. I don't think it's optimal, but I think the whole package is very good. This card is niche though. You're basically only running this if you're running the Italia. Italia might be
I agree.
Italia might be a playable plus, but
It's
like,
a vanilla level X otherwise.
yeah,
And
Italia might be a playable plus, but like if you're playing Italia, you're playing this. But you're not playing
Yeah,
this without
agreed.
Italia.
this is actually one of the reasons to play Italia. Probably it's just more consistency, and
Yeah.
it's just a good card.
Yep.
All right. Roma Kai. It's a 3/2 10k. When this is placed from hand to stage, you get to search your deck for a boat girl, add it to hand, and at the start of your opponent's attack phase, you may pay the cost of discarding a card from hand. If so, this gets -1 level and gains 3k for the turn.
Um,
So the -1 level is neat because wait, why is it neat?
there are certain cards that get power based on opponent's level.
It doesn't do shit. What does this do? This can't be advanced summoned. The -1 level doesn't do anything.
There are cards that get bonus power for level 3
Yeah.
opponents.
Okay, sure, but those cards would have been stymied by the whole this card just gained 3k bit.
Yeah, this card seems bad. Well, I mean, it's not bad actually, Cantress, but like I don't think you need it.
No, it's not bad. Just what does the -1 level do? I'm trying to think.
Can't
Does
really
this,
play
does,
it.
does any does anything care about level 2? I think you technically can early play this using that Kantai 2 event,
That still
but
seems unreasonable.
and there's also that stupid marker card which also counts. But no, I don't.
Seems bad.
No.
And that effect seems weird.
Oh no! You can advance summon. You can advance summon it. Good.
Okay, that makes more
Good. I
sense.
thought I was going insane. Yep. So it's got a 2/1 card which advance summons. Yeah. Look, this is what happens when there's like a 2-3 week break between the set reviews. I lose all of my memory, all my research. Yeah. So you can advance summon this. At which point, yeah, that makes sense now. So Roma Kai, her
Wait.
ability
Oh,
lets
there it
you
is.
insulate yourself against anti-change bombs. In that, she'll go back to being a level 2. Um, at level 2. It obviously won't matter at level 3. In fact, it might be bad because your opponent could decide to side over with a 3-soul character. But regardless, you get some power, which is neat, and you get to insulate yourself from anti-change bombs at level 3, at level 2 rather.
It also replaces
Now,
yourself
whether it's worth advanced something, we'll come to that shortly. But
on
I
its
think
own.
this is
On its own, it's
a
playable.
fine card.
On
Hmm.
its own, it's playable. I mean, it replaces itself on entry with a probably better card, so
Hmm.
playable. Next,
Shoho Kai. It's a 0015. Global 500, and when it's placed from hand to stage, check top, put it either top or bottom. This is playable. Like I don't think there's anything else to say about it. It's fine.
I mean, I don't think you play this though, just because it's a level 0 and you don't really need it.
Look, I mean, people aren't even playing Katsukaze when they're not choosing any of the 3 choices. So this card won't see play probably.
Yep.
But uh, look, if you're playing a deck that has 8 gates and doesn't want to run Hibiki, doesn't want to run Akagi,
Maybe.
this could be your choice.
Next.
Yep. Happy Halloween, Roma. Um, when it's supposed from hand to stage, check top card, put it on top or bottom. When it's attacks, if you have one or few other characters, you may mill the top card of your deck. If it's a level 0, put it in any slot in the back row. Very good card.
It's
Yep.
fun. Yeah. 3
This
pluses.
is like this is the epitome of a good little value card. It doesn't lose value in the late game because you get a scry, and early on you might get a free. Like you have a better chance than the blind ones of getting a free plus,
This
and that's
is
really good.
this is objectively better than the one in Aliens.
No, it's not because the aliens want a bomb.
Was it a bomb? Oh yeah, it was a bomb.
Yeah, it's a
But that
bomb.
one you're
Like
probably
every,
doing blind.
every other version of this has like another bomb effect. This one is just a 1/5 that increases the chance of the plus. So
This-
while those ones were like random cards you ran anyway and also had a chance to randomly plus, this is a card you run because you've got a pretty alright chance to plus. It's not an insignificant increase. One more card's worth of chance.
Yep. Also,
I think
like,
it's a
the scry is
playable
actually
card.
very good.
Yeah, Scry is good in the late game as well, and it's good in the early game if you want to try and get that plus, or just make sure you're not going to trigger a climax.
Playable.
Yeah. We got a vanilla.
It's bad. Wait.
Yep.
Here's the card art. She's pumpkin pants.
And now we come to Asugumo Kai and Yamagumo Kai, who are 1045 destroyers that give that gain 1k and 1 soul for each of the other one.
It's niche. It's all part of that package.
Yeah, niche is one way to put it. I don't think it's good at all, and I think if you're running it, you're probably doing something wrong.
Yeah.
When you've got cards like Prince, Terazuki, even Shimakaze plus Soul Buffers, this is not the package you want to be running.
Meme deck.
Like even in a budget deck, you have better options.
Meme deck.
Yeah, not convinced.
Yeah. Well, next up.
What do we got? We got come on,
Samakai.
Harusame Kai. It's a two no, it's a 1/6K that gains markers. Oh, I see. I see. Sure. So this is the Phantom marker card with a with one important with one important distinction. It doesn't get characters from the waiting room. It gets cards from top deck. So it is a 1/1 that gets progressively bigger and can be bombed. And since this is, in my opinion, worse than the Phantom card of the same type, and Phantom is not exactly a great set right now, I can't give this anything close to a playable rating. I just don't think this is a good card.
No, I think
It's got another. Yeah, I just don't think it's playable. It's got another effect as well when you play drums for transport. It's an event card from Kantai 2, and it's just I think you refer to it as Junketsu or Chihaya's camera.
Yeah.
It's just look at the top four at a I think drums gets a boat girl. I don't think it's restricted to color like the Fate Stay Night ones are. I'm pretty sure it's just get a boat girl.
Yeah,
So when you
believe
use that,
you mark her first, then resolve drums, though.
no, you get to choose. I'm pretty sure.
Do you?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you get to choose.
Wouldn't it?
It's the same idea as playing a climax.
I guess. I don't know. This game
Look,
doesn't have, this
it
game doesn't have a
really matter. I
formal
don't
stack.
expect this card to see play. So if my rulings on this are wrong, then whatever. You can send your angry emails to.
We have an email.
Just leave your angry comments in the comment section below, I guess. It's a fragile 1/1 that isn't even big enough to stop the really big 1/1s of today. Plus, it gets bombed. It's been a long time since marker cards were anywhere near the center of the metagame, and this is just going to continue that trend. Not a very good card.
Next up.
Umikaze, 2/7K. If you've got Kawakaze in your level zone, this gets -1 level. So Kawakaze, I don't actually know what that is. It's the it's the 0/0 which clocks itself when it dies to tap the top of your deck and get a destroyer.
Oh god.
Yep, that gets -1 level, and then if you've got 4 or more boat girls, doesn't have to be destroyers, just boat girls, then you may put the top card of your library in your stock. So it's like
It's sometimes a
after all of
107k.
After all of that, it is a 107k, which is fine. Like, I like 117ks, which are actually 1-0. Like, I play LB Twins. I think Kanata is a great card, fantastic card even.
This has one too many hoops.
Yeah, this requires several more things than Kanata does. Plus, it's making you run a card like Kawakaze. It's all right, I suppose. I think it's niche. I wouldn't use this as a reason to run
Kawakaze.
Kawakaze.
Kamikaze is still very questionable to me.
Mm-hmm.
Next is the Changer.
Yep. So all right. So this is the changer. When this is placed from hand to stage, this gains 500 times the number of boat girls you have, and then when you have, I'm pretty sure that's the book because that's the only climax left. If you have the book in the climax zone, you may pay cost. If which is sack this. If you do, choose a Roma Kai in your hand and put it in the slot. Look, my primary problem with this card is a really niggling one. Why do its two abilities contradict each other so fantastically?
Yeah, that's pretty beautiful.
Like that is my only issue with this card. I think everything else about the card is fine.
I mean, if it was
I
like a
just
waiting
don't
room
like
change, or Ankh Recept change, it would be great.
Yeah. I just don't like you only go even though you're playing a climax and you're stacking this, you still get your cards back because
It searches.
Roma Kai's a searcher. Yeah. But why do those two effects do nothing for each other? It's so annoying. Just looking at it, it's frustrating me.
I think this is less playable than Romakai.
Yeah, yeah, of course.
Yeah, I
Roma
mean,
Kai's playable as standalone or as a one-off.
I mean, this is questionable to me.
It makes you play a book.
I think
Books are fine, but
I think I'm
they're
gonna
not
set
great.
this to playable minus personally, or I guess niche. This is niche.
Yeah.
Niche.
Yeah.
What do you reckon, being?
And you're only playing this because you're gonna play the level 3.
Agreed.
Yeah, there are a lot of moving parts here.
Yeah.
All right, last character in blue.
Yep. So last character is Yudachi Kaini. This is Poi, right?
Yep.
Yeah, it's Poi. For each of your other destroyer characters, this gains 1k, so this can be a 2-2-10-5, and it's got blue encore.
Blue seems mediocre still.
This might actually be one of the payoffs for destroyer, which is really sad.
It's not even a payoff for destroyer. It just happens to be one.
Poi.
Or whoops, I never actually updated the text. There you go.
Look, I'm calling this niche. I'm gonna be nice.
Niche is accurate.
I'm just gonna be nice. I would never play this card. This is everything I hate about Weiss. Like fatty tutus that don't do anything else. Just my least favorite thing.
Moving on to the last card in blue. I actually think this
Alright.
card is great.
Yeah, this card is fine. Combat rations. It's a 1-0 event. We've seen this before. It's in Da Capo and it's in Love Live.
Of course, it's the combo.
Yeah, put the top card of your deck in your clock. If it's a boat girl, draw up to 3 cards and discard 1 card. So if you're not reading that right, it is a plus.
Theoretical plus
Sorry.
2.
It's a plus
Oh,
1
sorry,
if you
plus
play
1.
the event.
It's a theoretical plus 1.
It's a costless plus 1, but you do take 1 damage, and you have the amazing fail chance. Like, I've got stories where I'm playing against the DC version of this, and I'm trying to just psych my opponent out, and he plays this. I'm like, you're just gonna clock a climax, right? And obviously he clocks a climax, and he starts swearing at me. And then the next turn he plays another one, and I'm like, you're just gonna clock another copy of the event, right? And obviously it happens, and I felt like God. It was great.
I can't remember. There was definitely
was
there a yellow event that was like we were talking about being good?
Yeah. Was there?
I don't remember.
It's been a long time.
It's been a
The
couple
yellow
weeks.
event was yellow event was the one that searched for every copy of this you've played already.
Oh yeah, that card is way better. Let's go with that one.
Yeah, no, I like this card though. I think it's playable. It's just the right amount of risk reward. Costless plussing at level 1, where you can draw into the climax you need or draw into events that you might care about, like more copies of this.
Less playable
think
than the
that's-
Titans version.
Yeah, I think this is pretty good.
Titans 1 searches. I think.
Or what does it search? Like garbage.
Titans.
You got opinions on this, Beanley? Like this is a contentious card. Some people like it, some people hate it.
I think it's playable. I think the
Yeah.
risk is fine.
Playable. Like by definition, like of effect, it's a +1, so it's
I-
playable.
I'm pretty harsh on some of the other ones because the risk isn't proportional to the reward. But in this case, like the potential to like completely fix your hand is huge. So,
Mm-hmm.
especially in a set that can turn raw card advantage into selective card advantage with Akatsuki's, this kind of card effect gets a lot better.
Mm.
Also, free compression. It at least sends itself to memory.
Yeah.
That's
Memories of the times you clocked a climax with this.
And then there'll be that one time you play against Rain's and you just bite yourself for it, I guess.
Not that it does anything. All that happens is they get some power.
Yeah. Well,
Anyway, that's blue, and we'll do the overview show shortly.